You're listening to podradio.co.za.
Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it?
I can't hear you.
Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it?
Hi guys, welcome back to yet another interesting discussion. Today we have with us our Hattie hosts, Renisha, Zakir, Imishle, MK, Naledi, Amber, and a special Hattie learner, Kyle. In this week's podcast, we will focus on the impact the lockdown had on relationships, especially teenage relationships. We are going to find out how our fellow Hatties managed to cope while not being able to see their partners during this lockdown. We will also share our experiences regarding the challenges as teenagers focus when their parents do not approve of their relationship partners. We will also share some useful tips on how to handle the sensitive matter. Here we go. So guys, personally from my side, it's been hard. And it has taken a toll on you if you don't know what to expect, because usually you think you have everything in control regarding your relationships. But when lockdown had hit me and my partner, it was a lot for us to handle. It still now is, but we had to make sure every day that we speak to each other, that we focus, that we're not talking to other people. And regarding my parents especially, his parents were fine, but with my parents it was always because I'm not yet finished with school, so it was always an issue. But for me it was always that they, as long as I pass school, as long as I pass matric at the end of the day, then they will approve and whatever. Like, they're cool with him and stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's still an issue now and then. But we've made it this far, so I think we will make it further, because not being able to see someone you genuinely want to be with every day it's hard. Believe me, it's hard, and you tend to have meltdowns and things. But in the end, if you trust each other, if you open and you speak and communication, guys, is key. Don't get me wrong, communication is key. But if you have those things, you basically have a solid relationship. And with me and him, we believe that God is our foundation, and that's the only way we get through things. So yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Renisha here, and today's podcast is about teenage relationships. Well, I'm in a relationship myself, so my opinion on this is that lockdown had its toll on me. Not being able to see my boyfriend, not being able to hold his hand, it made things really difficult because I grew quite accustomed to doing those things. And seeing him on weekends became my favorite time of the year. Being able to spend quality time with him, going out on dates, or just watching a movie, or whether it was just playing Xbox or PS4 at his house or mine. But all that got taken away due to COVID-19. And it's difficult. It became really difficult at first, but I coped. We started coping a bit better. We would send each other videos of what we were doing, or we would take pictures. And if I really, really wanted to talk to him, I would phone him, or he'd phone me. Either video call or cell phone, normal cell call. And it helped a bit. I told my parents about my relationship 2 months after we started dating, and they met my boyfriend, and they like him. My parents didn't exactly approve of it at first, considering I'm matric and so is he. But they understood that we both know how important this academic year is to us, and we cannot ruin it with our relationship. So we learned to compromise between study time and talking. But it's not always that easy. Occasionally we would talk for hours and I would forget to maybe do my homework, or he'd forget to do his assignments. And as time continued throughout the lockdown, it became more and more difficult for me to wrap my mind around the fact that I can't actually see him as much as I want to. I can't hold his hand. But you learn to do certain tricks, like talking to each other on video call. That genuinely helps. But that's just my little tips on how you can handle a relationship during lockdown. Thank you for listening.
Yo, what up? It's your man, Mr. CWR. So, the impact that the lockdown had on my friendship with my friends and not being able to see them, the impact was quite severe because we didn't see each other, and like later on it felt depressing not seeing your friends. And yeah, so the impact it had on my friendships was that we couldn't really see each other or do things that we normally do, which we enjoy doing together, like for example eating together, sharing our food together, or having a laugh together, like a close laugh together next to each other, hanging on each other while we laugh, things like that. It's not there anymore. And the impact it had on our friendship, not just to me but to my friends as well, it's not the same anymore, because like we feel that it's being forced to stay still apart from each other. So it's like we're there with each other but also not there kind of like with each other. And also our plans as a group of friends went out the window. So for example, going to the movies or going out to Ratanga Junction. I wish Ratanga Junction still exists. Today it doesn't anymore, but still it falls in place as well. Going out with your friends, gaming or so on and so forth. It's not there anymore, and the impact it had on us, once again I'm saying, it was severe. We used to communicate, there's different methods we used to communicate with each other. So it would be either a phone call, or we would have a video call via WhatsApp, and then we would include our friends. So we're like a big group, so we'd call like 4 people at a time, because WhatsApp limits about 4 people at a time. So we'd call about like 4 people at a time in our group, and then we continue talking further in our WhatsApp group that we have, our own XYZ. And yeah, so what do you do when your parents don't approve of your friendship? Well, let me tell you this: if you have a relationship with certain friends that your parents just does not feel like is for you, then maybe you should consider it and taking a look at it again. Try and understand from their perspective why they say that this friendship is not good for you. So they'd be part of the 7 habits would be seek to understand, then to be understood. So first understand why it is they are going on about, and then yeah guys, that's about it, the saddest part. So I'm your man CWR, peace out.
The impact lockdown done to my friendships was not really extreme, because we tried to keep in contact most of the time and we always kept up to date with each other's lives. Of course, it was not the same as being in person, because once we're in person, fireworks go off. It's so much fun and there's so many jokes. And I mean, before lockdown and all this coronavirus stuff, we could hug each other, push each other around and all that stuff. We kept having fun convos over the phone, and it wasn't as bad. We communicated over WhatsApp and sending each other a million stickers. We tried phone calls here and there, and we tried video chatting, but that didn't go out so well because we looked way too crusty, and looking pretty is a bit too much effort. I do think though lockdown was a way for any relationship to become stronger and the different parties to learn more about each other.
It was really hard not being able to see my friends during lockdown, and in our time apart we would basically just keep on chatting on WhatsApp, but most of the time we weren't in communication, honestly, because most of us were, all of us were actually all very worried about our schoolwork and our matric year in general. So when we did have spare time, we would just either speak over the phone or text.
This is Amber Isaacs, and the impact that the lockdown had on my relationships with my friends was actually big, because my friends and I are very outgoing and we do prefer spending quality time together than actually calling each other. So meaning that when we did not see each other in a long time, it's actually really special and exciting when we do actually see each other, because then we have like a lot to catch up on and we have a lot to talk about. The methods we used to communicate during the lockdown was like sending a WhatsApp message or video calling each other now and then. And the advice I can give to the Hatties regarding their parents not approving a boyfriend or girlfriend is that our parents are 99% of the time correct. So you should just like accept and understand where they are coming from, because the fact that most of our parents have had experience with girlfriends and boyfriends, they know. And like, even if it seems like unfair and hard to understand, our parents or your parents wouldn't want you to get hurt. So if your parents do like not approve of your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's either because they feel that you are that person is not the one for you, or that you are not ready for a romantic relationship.
Good day, Hatties, and I'm Kyle Stichler. On today's podcast, the topic is: what impact did lockdown have on not being able to see my girlfriend have on our relationship? And what methods did we use to communicate with each other when we couldn't visit one another during this pandemic? When lockdown orders were put into effect, there were a bit of adjustments to my daily life, such as cleaning the yard, of course, and around our house, and doing all things which a mother would want a child to do just to keep busy and not to be lazy. And of course, most importantly, our future, which is schoolwork. And the minute I saw that, I could exactly see how the time I would get out of bed and spend time with my girlfriend, and spend time with my girlfriend and do our hobbies together and go out to have fun as a couple. It was, however, important for me to maintain my relationship during this isolation, to prevent loneliness and to reduce stress and anxiety for my girlfriend and for myself. A few days into lockdown, I received a call from my girlfriend, and we spent hours talking and reminiscing about the good old days and laughing about all the crazy times we had together and crazy events that we attended to, and all the good times that we had. And it was just good, and it was healthy for the relationship and healthy for ourselves. It was indeed a good phone call because I missed her, and I was supposed to call her, but she ended up calling me. Communicating with her was definitely not a problem, because even though the sad part was that we couldn't see each other face to face, but we used the video app called Zoom to see each other and what we were up to, and we would normally Zoom for about an hour 3 times a week. WhatsApp was the best way to communicate with each other because we were all just a text message away. We could just text each other. We used to text each other on a daily basis from the morning to the afternoon to the evening, and even until midnight. We would talk, we would video call each other just to see each other face to face, which is a more natural effect, and just to see what we were all up to. Instagram was also a way of communicating, where we would direct message each other, and we would post pictures of each other, tagging each other, and we will also communicate via live, where you can go on answering questions of your followers. And I went live with my girlfriend as well, and that's how we connected and asked people what do they think about the lockdown and what they've been doing through lockdown, and we did it as a relationship. And another topic that I saw is how and does our parents approve or disapprove, and my parents definitely approved our relationship, and and both of them were fine with it, and we all connected well with one another, despite even if they didn't approve, I'd still go through the ends to be with her. So my advice to fellow Hatties whose parents would disapprove about being in a relationship is listen to your parents. They know what's best for you and your future. So take their advice into consideration and wait until the time is right to fall in love. We are still young. This lockdown surely wasn't depressing or boring at all, because I could connect with my girlfriend and reconnect with her and ask her about her daily duties, and ask her about what she does on a daily, and just to be connected with her. Even though we were far, yet we were near to one another. So that also kept the relationship strong and going. Thank you.
Yo, what's up? This is MK, Mukamu Moti MK. And what impact did the lockdown have on my friendships is that we could not see each other. We could not interact with each other. Like, we couldn't have contact with each other and physically, and we couldn't interact with each other physically as well. So we were supposed to go out we had lots of things planned, man. We were supposed to go out to have a gas bee together and have ice cream together. We're supposed to all have friends that all want to record at my house. So we were all supposed to come. I think there are 5 of us or 6, all supposed to come to my house, and then we record, have a studio session, you feel me? All that fine stuff. And after that, we would go walk up and down the town and take taxi to go to this place, to that place, sleep over at one friend's place and all that. Just enjoy the holidays after a hard school time. But since lockdown happened in level 5, we couldn't even go out. And since we can't do that, we can't all of our plans got ruined. I haven't seen my friends in a long time. It's so this is social distancing, for real, not physical distancing. It's social distancing. It's you can't see your friends much anymore, because we are forced not to see them, you feel me? Because if we see them, we will want to make contact with them, you feel? But we're trying to do that, but we have to do that to keep them safe from danger. So how we communicate is that we communicate via WhatsApp, through phone call, video call, voice note, and so messaging, you see, or just calling in general, with airtime and all that. So we try to make ways, whatever it takes, just to communicate with each other. Because just because our physical interaction has stopped doesn't mean that our virtual interaction must stop as well. I mean, come on, man. We have to do whatever it takes, or whatever methods we need to use to communicate with each other, you see. And my favorite thing I like to do is just, we make groups, and then we talk, group chat, and we talk and make jokes and all that. So that's very fun. And the next thing is that what do I think of parents who disapprove of relationships, girlfriend, boyfriend, and what advice I would give? The advice I would give to the people who are in relationships, whose parents don't agree with them being in relationships, is that you don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. Look at it as a positive. You see, look at it from their point of view. Maybe they are jealous that you are giving them more love than you give your own parents. Maybe they don't want you to get distracted from work. Maybe they don't want that other person or other partner be a distraction to your future. You see, try to look at it from that perspective. But if that perspective doesn't match yours, do not force it on them. Just try to make them understand it. Because if they understand it, they can improve it. Just try to understand their perspective and explain to them why you love this person and why you're with this person. I'm MK with this awesome podcast. See you next time. Peace out.
And that's a wrap, guys. I hope you found the advice for teenage relationships we've shared helpful. Tune in next week for our next podcast on self-esteem. Be safe until next time. Bye.